Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 208.
208.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. They have 80 professional vacation planners. They do not charge for their services, and they will look for the very best price for your vacation.
We like the best price.
I love the best price. Also, the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival was just announced some new things like the Figment Topiary. We have a new Bell Topiary coming in. So if you want to go at that time,
we highly recommend it. That is the best time of the year, I think.
Absolutely.
And also, allears.net, the weekly newsletter.
And this past week, they had DVC news, some tips for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. And they had, right before Black Friday, they had Disney Springs Black Friday information. So it's always good to keep up on the latest news with them.
I learned some of that stuff. I
had
no
idea.
Free. Can't beat that. Check out the show notes for full information on how to subscribe. Now we are off at Epcot.
And so Epcot Holidays Around the World is through December 30th. It started on Friday, November 25th, which
Black
is the
Friday,
day.
Yes.
That's always the day we go. And we can see all these nice topiaries.
Kind of reminds me of a throwback to the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival you just mentioned. I love topiaries in the park.
Well, you have Donald and Goofy here. They both, they're like skating, although Donald just holding his skates. And then you have the snowman, who I believe has been in Norway before.
I always like a snowman that's not Olaf. That's good. Nothing against Olaf, but it's nice, nice to see other snowmen, kind of like a frosty-looking snowman.
Which we watched yesterday, the holiday special.
That's right,
yes, we've been watching a lot of the Christmas programs.
And there is the big tree. Like you said earlier, we love to go to Epcot the day after Thanksgiving. It's a tradition for us, rather than be running around the stores. So lots and lots of stuff we saw. The holiday sandwich we had last year and the peppermint sundae, but this area you're about to see, brand new for this year.
Well, this is called the Feast of the Three Kings. It's off the Imagination Walkway where Islands of the Caribbean was during the Epcot Food and Wine Festival.
Okay.
We had stopped there for a Jamaican beef patty during
that
time.
It was actually good.
It was one of the only things we ate this year. we were so busy doing other things, we almost didn't even make it to the festival. But for this, now we didn't eat anywhere during the first day.
We did indeed.
We ate it via Napoli.
We were smart. We had a fine via Napoli meal, but actually a lot of this food looks very good. The thing is, they're full portions.
Right.
If you get one, I think you're good for a long time. So we'll go back and we'll try. I think we're going to try the turkey dinner. It looks really good.
Oh, and I think that's in America,
right?
That is,
indeed, it is.
I think there's a couple of different turkeys. The one we just saw, and then in America. But they have a variety of different meals around the world, though I love Via Napoli pizza, and we're going to show that later.
Right.
But this is really nicely set up, just as, I wonder if this is sort of now going to be there all the time. I think it will be.
And a nice surprise, we met this guy here.
Launchpad McQuack, or as several guests called him, Darkwing Duck.
We knew his correct name. We did not. We asked about Darkwing, though, and he did reference
Jeff asked him about Darkwing. I
can read his sign language very well. But it was very nice to meet him again. We have met him before, and we'll link to that encounter in the show notes. Beautiful scenery. What a gorgeous day. What a great day to spend for Black Friday.
I think that there was a lot more plants and poinsettias and all that than I've seen before. And this is a Spode teapot. This has been here a few years now. I don't really understand. I guess Spode is a company, so I remember first posting it and they're like, it's a Spode teapot. So I think that's a company.
It's very close to where the tea tour normally is, so I guess it sort of fits.
During the Flower and Garden Festival. I can't wait for that. So here we can see like these little peppermints. These have been here for a number of years now, and we're heading into France. And a few years ago, they put these ornaments up. There's 3 of them. There's a Champs-Élysées. We can see here the Eiffel Tower.
I don't think there is real ice skating around the Eiffel Tower.
You know what? I don't know. I haven't been there during the winter.
We'll have to do that, won't we, to investigate?
And I said the Champs-Élysées, but it's actually the Arc de Triomphe.
That's okay. Can't be perfect every time,
I can't
right?
be
You always
perfect.
tell me that, and I often put that to the test.
And this is like a chocolate roll. It's a dessert item.
Well, here is the real highlight, though. This is the area where we're going to see Pere Noel.
So for a long time, Jeff thought they said Pere Noel. He thought his name was Pierre.
That's embarrassing. I don't admit to that, but yes, I really did. But I now know it's Pere Noel, the French Santa.
Yes, Pere Noel. It's Pere means father in French. I believe Mère is mother, and then Father Christmas, and the French Santa, and he tells a story of Babette. I did not watch it this time, but I usually do.
I know all about that shoe. They put sweets and goodies in the shoes, and that's supposed to be young Babette's shoe, but it is clearly not the case. He tells that story every year.
I probably wouldn't eat sweets out of a shoe.
Yeah, it may not be good. It may not be a good thing. Well, you eat stuff out of a stocking, right? When you hang your stocking up every year.
I guess if your shoe hasn't been worn, it's fine. But that's traditionally really our first Santa every year.
And this is in Morocco, the storyteller. You hear about spice and things of that nature.
Well, holiday traditions and festivals in Morocco. There are holiday storytellers everywhere around World Showcase, so it's really hard to see. I wouldn't say you could see them all in one day easily. I mean,
you wouldn't want to. It's nice to kind of spread it around. But this is one of my very favorites of all. This is Sigrid right there, and you're about to see Julenissen. He is the barn Santa from Norway, and it's a new location, a brand new area. This whole area wasn't opened. It didn't exist last year, so it's right by the Anna and Elsa meet and greet. And she even makes a few Frozen jokes, which I thought was quite funny.
You know what? I didn't see this one either when I came up. It had already started, and this area is actually harder to get into.
Good news! There's a full video that you can watch.
I know, I have to watch it.
Good news for you! You could see it again.
But this area, you want to get here a little earlier than the previous area, which was really out in the open, so
Correct.
You could show up halfway through and see it. This one you cannot.
This one I agree with you. You do need to get there about five minutes or so before it starts. You'll have no problem. If you're an adult, you stand in the back, you're good to go.
Well, I was outside. It's almost like a bowl, so I could not get into it once it started. So,
early bird catches the worm.
You want to
see?
Be the
I was
early
there
bird.
in well enough time.
So anyway, you have this Chinese lion dancer. It's a traditional dance in Chinese culture. It is not a dragon dance. It's a lion dance. I always thought it for some reason it was
it's
a
wishing
dragon.
us good luck. How do you like that?
So, but this is actually really nice.
I quite enjoy that, too.
This one is very popular. Certainly, I'm not sure what he's doing there.
I don't know what that means.
Some of these are very, very popular.
He replaced the also popular Monkey King. The Monkey King used to be there.
I don't know that I ever I don't know if I ever watched.
Sat and watched. No respect for the Monkey King.
I don't know that I stood and watched. I don't know if I ever saw the whole show.
I know that you did. I have witnessed you see it.
I don't really remember.
But you always watch this, and I believe you remember Helga. Helga is the German storyteller.
Yes, and I didn't watch it on this day just because it was really bright out. So I was like, okay, well, I'll come back for this.
No respect for Helga.
No,
Too bright.
You stop
there
with
was
the
shade.
Respect.
There was shade there. She tells the story
of the Nutcracker.
The Nutcracker, yes. It's always delightful. And she's in a new location this year. Again, this thing didn't exist. The stage that she's on, it was built for the Flower and Garden Festival, or built during that this year.
Now here comes the Nutcracker, like a kind of a life size.
Yeah, you have to close your eyes and imagine a real Nutcracker, and then when you open your eyes, there he is.
And again, Helga is one of the ones that we see every year. There are certain storytellers we see every year.
And also in the U.S., the American Adventure, it's Santa and Mrs. Claus, and there they are.
And they are not. The line was not as long. Certainly when we were there on Black Friday, it wasn't as long as, let's say, at the Magic Kingdom. So it's certainly a nice area to meet them.
Speaking of nice areas, though, this area is nice because it smells so good. This is the Gingerbread house in the American Adventure.
Well, it's the Capitol, and it's also the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument. So you have several different buildings here, and this is a gorgeous creation. I think this is the second year that they've had this, except not the Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah, the Lincoln was very new, and it's wonderful. And these are all places we actually went this past year, so it was very nice to see the gingerbread.
There's 5 hidden Mickeys, 50 pounds of gingerbread, and 20 pounds of icing in that.
Oh, awesome.
And it smells awesome.
And it wouldn't be holidays around the world without the Voices of Liberty in the Rotunda.
Yes, and we see the Voices of Liberty also in the Candlelight Processional, which we'll see a little later, although they are not wearing their Charles Dickens.
They have new outfits this year, and we'll talk about that. Now, what a great segue. Craft beer at the Odyssey.
I'm not sure that I think of craft beer in this, as far as holidays around the world.
Well, the first thing you see is a young man crawling. It's a
it's a family location.
It's not quite the popular area, too. The Odyssey seemed a bit uncrowded when we were there, but I'm sure that'll change throughout the festival.
I don't know. I think, most people, maybe at night, most people, I think, though, are looking kind of more for the holiday feel, and this doesn't have that. But the Odyssey actually closed in 1994. It was a counter service location. I don't really remember
They used to have a
that
show.
much.
They had a really cool show with characters and everything. So it's nice to actually be back and see the Odyssey again.
Definitely. I'm glad to be inside since it had been closed for so long.
And now we're looking at Joyful, who have once again returned.
And they came in after the Lights of Winter ended. I'm still a little bitter about the Lights of Winter, and now we don't have
but
Osborne
we do not
lights.
blame. You cannot blame Joyful.
No, and they're actually very popular. And not only do we have Joyful, which is a gospel group, but we now have American Music Machine, which is an a cappella group. So you have like constant music up here, which is fantastic.
Yeah, there really is something for everybody. You know, almost all styles of music are represented at holidays around the world. I really love it.
I do too. And here they are, the American Music Machine, who they also, during the year, they are at the American Gardens Theater. So you can see them. I think they do more like pop standards there, but here they're singing
They're
Christmas
wonderful.
music, holiday music.
Highly recommended, I say. And now, one of the highlights of the whole day for me, and for you, I'm sure too, Via Napoli.
I love Via Napoli. So I'm still happier to have gone to Via Napoli than to have eaten around the world. I love the pizza here. So anytime we can, we don't get here too often, but enough.
I tell you, that place was hopping when we were there. It was packed.
It
It was a bit chilly too, from what I remember.
It was very cold, actually. I was wearing like this heavy sweater inside, but I can tell the pizza's not cold.
No,
because
look at
it's in
that.
the oven.
I'm getting hungry right now.
I would have been happy to be near the oven. But they have the thin crust pizzas and made in the wood burning ovens, and there's several wood burning ovens, and they are part of just to mention, they are part of the Patina group. And the Patina group also runs Morimoto Asia and some other restaurants that Disney has.
Now, it's not exactly cheap. We had a medium pizza with 2 toppings, 2 soft drinks after tip, and with a 10% discount, it came out to about $50. And there it is right there, but we got 2 meals out of it.
Right. I mean, we had some during kind of like a dinner during our candlelight. A few hours later, we ended up...
Oh, then I had
and
a slice
you had
for
it next
3
day.
meals. 3 meals. So if you look at it that way, it's not that bad. And it really is the best pizza, in my opinion, in Florida. It's outstanding. So we love Via Napoli.
That's all we ate all day, except for I bought some Stalin, which was so good.
Oh, the salad. Don't even get me started. Well, speaking of goodness here, it's the Gingerbread Carousel at the Yacht and Beach Club. It's actually in the Beach Club lobby.
Right, and I think this year is probably my favorite year that they've ever had the carousel, that I've ever seen it in many, many years. All of the horses this year are themed to Disney characters. So here you have the Pluto horse. He's got the Pluto tongue hanging out, but he's also a reindeer and he's a horse. So he actually covers 3 different animals.
Yeah, he is very well rounded, and he does have the Please Return to Mickey Mouse badge on him. So another throwback to the real Pluto, who always has that. Plus, there's all sorts of hidden Mickeys all around.
And he has there's 17 hidden Mickeys because of the 17th year. There are 17 hidden Mickeys here. He also has a bone on his head, and he has Chip and Dale on his back.
Now, the viewer can't see Denise pointing to the screen as she's describing all this stuff.
I
so I get to
hands
see that.
around
A lot of hand movement. You must really like the horses.
I love this. The last few years it has kind of gone, I don't want to say downhill, but it wasn't as exciting as it used to be.
They didn't have the bonus
horse, right? So, and plus, I don't know that they've always had the sculpted ones underneath the last few years, and they haven't always, I don't think, had the tree topper. So it had kind of it didn't seem as unique.
Well, I talked to the captain who was hanging around, and he said the chef really wanted to bring back some of the favorites. It's all because the chef wanted to up it to plus things, bring back the topper that was broken. Mm-hmm. Remember the old Tinkerbell? And it was broken because one year it hit the chandelier.
I didn't know that part.
It was we were told that. So it had to be, or I was told that. So they had to be very, very careful to make sure it would not happen again.
Well, this time it's Pluto, but I'm just glad that they have any topper at all, because when Tinkerbell disappeared, I didn't know if we'd ever see another topper. What I like about the Pluto and all the different sculpts that are below the horses, he looks just like the horse below. He's got the antlers. That is the way he seemed, and that is the way, like Goofy has the lights. So below the Goofy horse, Goofy has lights there too, and I really like that.
I do too. Probably the best theming they've had in years. And look at this. It's a hidden Mickey, and you can only spot that if you go up on the second floor, kind of look down onto the carousel.
And that is not included in the 17 hidden Mickeys. Those are the little gold Mickeys, which you can see on the different horses and such.
And now we're going to continue our tradition. This is something we usually do every time we do the first day of holidays around the world. We check out the resorts around Epcot for all the special stuff. And here we have Santa's favorite resort, the Swan and the Dolphin. And here's Mrs. Claus and Candy Cane to light the tree for the first time.
And this was the only tree lighting ceremony that I know of on Walt Disney World property for a number of years. I think Disney Springs now has one, but this is really our tradition. To come see them. Mrs. Claus is holding her Polar Express book. I'm still not sure what that's about, but she always holds it every year.
And here comes Santa. He arrives in his golf cart. Santa is very relaxed. No wonder it's his favorite resort.
It would be mine too. And this doesn't happen every night. They don't meet every night, so you have to check the Swan and Dolphin website. Actually, it's like santasfavoriteresort.com because it is his favorite resort, and they're his golf clubs.
I love the golf clubs, and I like the fact that they're sort of in a Christmas stocking, so very nicely themed. And there's Santa. He's telling me how he loves to play golf with Mickey, and you hear all sorts of great stories, so we'll link to this in the show notes. It's always fun to meet Santa and Mrs. Claus.
Well, I was talking to Mrs. Claus at the time, so I didn't even hear what you said, and I haven't even watched the video yet. We do have a video up, but really a kind of a video of almost everything we did that day. I think we have videos of.
Yes, we did a lot, but always a highlight, so much fun. And right next door, we see the giant chocolate Santa display. Not just Santa, but all sorts of Christmas goodness.
Well, it's a total of about 2,000 pounds between the Nutcracker, Santa, the tree, and everything. I don't think it's changed too much in the last couple of years. They added the Nutcracker a few years ago. He is 7 foot tall and 400 pounds, and this whole display, 4 million calories, and you can smell it as soon as you enter the lobby.
I was going to say, the highlight is the smell. It smells so good. You almost have to get chocolate after this.
Except that I got the Stalin at Epcot.
Well, nothing wrong with that. That was fantastic. I believe that was Germany where you found the Stalin. So good.
They've had it at the beer garden, and I have gotten so used to having it during the holidays.
So another tradition, the very first night of the Candlelight Processional.
And this day was narrated by Stephen Curtis Chapman. He is such a great singer. Like, I first heard him in the 80s, and it's nice to see him here.
Well, we see Dr. Sinclair there, one of our favorite conductors, as Mr. Chapman called him our rock star conductor at the end. And here come the singers.
So the first and second shows seemed very, very busy. The lines were really long, but the third one did not have a very long line for the standby. You can buy into the package, the dining package, which now has like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and even the Captain's Grill at Yacht Club, which I didn't even know till today was part of that, but we just do standby.
Right, this was a standby seat here. We had a great seat right on the end. We didn't have that bad of a wait. It wasn't too crowded, so if you do the third showing, I think always that'll be your best bet.
I would say so. We usually do that third show. It used to be the first show wasn't so busy, but now it seems it's more the third.
And of course, that theory does not count if it's Neil Patrick Harris or Whoopi or some of the very big name narrators, because then you could just pretty much forget about it.
Well, I don't know if you'd forget about it, but if you really want to see a certain narrator, you probably want to get the dining package. And somebody like Neil Patrick Harris probably doesn't get as much standby seating.
Yes, exactly. And I should mention there has been a slight change here in the red robes. They are the voices of Liberty in their new attire.
Right, and they look like the choir now. I'm not really a fan. I like them in their former costumes. I think the women wear like dresses, but I do like it better.
I think it fits the presentation a little better, but either way, it's not a big deal for me. Anyway, now we're going to move on to the Let There Be Peace on Earth fireworks finale to Illuminations. Nothing says peace on earth to me more than massive explosions.
I always have to stand back because they're so intense. So this it's not a peaceful
very
display.
Peaceful. If you love explosions and fireworks, it is a wonderful thing. I have to admit, I do kind of miss the Walter Cronkite narration, but I'm getting used to the new narration, and the show is better than ever. They have lasers. It is spectacular.
I really, I enjoy the show. Like I said, I just kind of stand back from the water, especially because you have those explosions that go out into the lagoon. But it's a big display.
The perimeter. Yes. And where we watch
that
it from Germany,
that
just happens to be right there. Yes. So you always get woken up. And the ducks enjoy that, I'm sure, too.
It always freaks me out. And then it says in different languages,
Good night. That's right. So
Bon nuit.
a very nice way to end a very long and full day at Epcot. We were there for almost 13 hours, I think. But, we could be running around stores. So this is a much better way to spend Black Friday, if you ask me, being here at Epcot and all those nice resorts.
I just know I was very exhausted, but we did a lot of fun things, and there is the not Olaf snowman there.
That's right.
But I also want to mention, when we went out the International Gateway, the boardwalk nor the yacht club had any kind of displays.
Yeah, and the boardwalk, I asked, went to the front desk and confirmed they will have no gingerbread this year. So kind of sad, but maybe it makes up for it, the fact that it was such a great display at the beach club. Anyway, it's hard to believe after all this, but you know what? That is another show.
That's another show, and there's Mickey and Minnie. I really do love the lighting here.
So thanks to our sponsors, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. Always something going on in the travel world with them.
And allears.net. Check out their newsletter. It costs nothing to sign up.
So anyway, everybody, thank you very much for listening. Have a great week. Happy holidays. Thanksgiving is over. Merry Christmas.
Well, it's not quite Christmas yet, but definitely happy holidays, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.